Welcome back to another episode of the 4Expedition Adventurer Gear Guide. This episode is brought to you by RockPals, Northwest Overland, Black Label Garage, and by our 4Expedition Patreon supporters. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 4Expedition Adventurers Gear Guide. Today we're going to be talking about power banks and solar panels, so let's get started. So one of the first things that you're going to discover when you start spending time in nature going on adventures like I do is the fact that you're going to need some kind of a power source to keep all of your devices charged at all times. Alright, so the type of charging system that you need depends on the kind of adventures you like to go on. So for instance, if you're a bike packer, you can depend on your own pedal motion in order to charge your devices, and there's a lot of really cool products out there for that. And if you live in the desert like I do, where the sun is out 360 days a year and you spend most of your time doing adventures in the desert, you can certainly depend on solar power to charge your products, and you don't necessarily even need a power bank for that. You can plug your iPhone and different things right into the solar panels and they'll charge up very quickly. The only trouble with that is sometimes if you're staying overnight, you're on a race against time to charge all of your devices before the sun goes down. So it's kind of nice to have some kind of a power bank to store up all of your power so you have plenty of power and you can charge your devices multiple times. So if you watch my ultralight backpacking trip to a yurt in Flagstaff, you'll find that I actually talked about my solar panels that I use for backpacking. So I've got two very small solar panel systems that work quite well. But when I'm car camping, I have a lot more devices that I like to keep charged along the way, and so I do bring a power bank along, so I want to talk a little bit more about what I use for my car camping power system, and maybe the information that I share with you will help along the way in you selecting the products that you need for your adventures. So as I said before, there's a couple of different charging systems that you can use when you're car camping. You can certainly use your car battery, but I wouldn't recommend that because it definitely wears down your battery. Aside from that, you can get yourself a power bank system, and there's a couple of different types you can get. There's pocket-sized power banks, and there's larger power bank systems that hold a lot more power charge. And then, of course, you can install yourself an auxiliary battery in your car so that you have two batteries. So I use a couple of different power bank systems depending on the kind of adventure I'm going on. So if I'm going on a backpacking adventure or something like that, I will bring this pocket-sized Anker power bank, and this works really well for a couple of different charges, and you can plug this into a solar panel and charge that up as well. If I'm going on a car camping adventure and I want to have a lot more power, I use this RockPals 330W power bank, which works really well, and I can get lots of different charges out of it, and I'll show you a little bit more about that as we go through this. So the amount of time it takes to charge a power bank depends on the size of the battery. So for example, a smaller portable pocket charger with a capacity of about 1500 mAh will charge about the same time as a typical smartphone, whereas a larger device for laptop charging may take up to 4 times that. Power banks have different rating systems, so for instance, if you have a 2000 mAh, you get 1 full charge on an iPhone and probably about 25% of a tablet. If you have a 52 mAh, you get 2 full charges of an iPhone and maybe 50% of a tablet. And then if you have a 10,000 mAh, you probably can get 4 charges on an iPhone and 100% of a tablet. So consumer pocket power banks generally tend to be between 2,000 mAh and 9,000 mAh. So the higher end units generally tend to allow you to be able to charge your iPhone about 8 or more times. Generally an iPhone, which is considered a low current device, you can get more charges than a high current device, which would be something like an iPad. So when it comes to amperage rating, a lot of companies state the amperage a little bit differently. Some companies will actually state their overall amperage of a product, and the higher the amperage overall allows you to put in more devices at once and charge more devices quickly. However, when you're plugging one device in, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of that amperage is going to go to that one device. So not all power banks are equal. Some of them use lithium ion and some of them use lithium polymer batteries, and there's a difference between the two. Lithium ion batteries have higher energy density, they're cheaper to manufacture, but they have issues with aging. Whereas lithium polymer batteries, they don't really suffer from aging quite as much, but they're much more expensive to manufacture and cost more. So the RockPals 330 that I use is a 330 watt 78,000 AH device. It's lithium ion. You can charge it up with a 110 volt AC outlet, a 12 volt car charger, or a 60, 80, or 100 watt solar panel. Peak wattage for this particular device is 700 watts. The recharge time is between 5 and 8 hours, depending on if you're plugging it into a wall or if you're using solar panels. So as you can see, I've got a lot of different devices being charged on my RockPals 330 watt power bank, including my Hero 3 GoPro being charged by USB. I've got my Apple Watch here being charged by USB. I've got my Bofang radio being charged by AC. And then I usually don't put more than that on it at once. I've got about a 90% charge here. It shows that I've got 0 input power. If I plug in my solar panel, this will start showing numbers. So one of the things I really like about the RockPals 330 watt power bank is the fact that if I fold down this handle, I've got wireless charging for my iPhone. And if you're a subscriber to 4Expedition, you probably already know that I only use one iPhone to film my episodes. And so that makes it really nice to have a wireless charging base right here on this power bank. And I'm actually pretty astonished just by how fast my iPhone 11 actually charges with this wireless station. Okay, so to be able to show you all the features and the outlets of this particular product, I decided to unplug my devices. You've got a DC section here with two 12-volt 5 amps, and you've also got a 12-volt 10 amp for car charging. Over here you've got USB 3s, and then you've got a Type-C here. This is for charging an iPhone, although I have the wireless up here, so I use that mostly, but if somebody else also wanted to charge, they could plug in here. I've also got an AC plug here, which is really nice, and then this port here is where you plug in your solar panel to charge up the RockPals device with the sun, and then you've got a flashlight on top of here as well, which is really nice. So the device itself is very heavy duty and durable. It's got some nice rubberized bumpers on it. It's got a really stiff, strong handle with a rubberized grip here as well. When you flip it around and lift it around, it's actually very strong and solid and heavyweight. It's also weather resistant, so it's a really great power station for taking out on your adventures. So the RockPals 330 watt power bank actually allows me to charge my iPhone about 25 times. It allows me to charge my laptop about 4 times. I can charge a drone probably 2.5 times, and I can charge a floodlight, which I've got a couple of those, about 56 times according to their documentation. I've used the wall plug at home to charge it up. It actually charges pretty quickly. I'm also using the 80 watt solar panel out here, also by RockPals, which I'll show you in a moment. And I've used that to charge this up, and I'm actually pretty remarkable how quickly it charges with an 80 watt solar panel. So the first thing you're going to notice about the RockPals solar panel is just how attractive the packaging is here. It's in a really nice folded design. It's a really nice canvas exterior case. It's got a nice rubber handle. It's got an exterior pouch here. When you open that up, you've got your power, and you've got some additional cables for connecting this to lots of different devices. Close that up here. To open it up, you just open these clasps here. Opens very easily, and when you open it, the first thing you're going to see is the fact that there's actually feet here, and these are snapped down, but you can unsnap these feet and you can actually stand this up when it's fully opened. So when I flip it open entirely, you're going to see that I've got a lot of solar surface area here, and this solar panel is 80 watts. RockPals also offers a 100 watt panel, which is a little bit bigger and a little bit faster. So far, this one's been pretty nice for me. I've been happy with it so far. The things I really like about it are the fact that it's portable, it's foldable, it's lightweight. It's got a really high conversion efficiency in low light, 23.5% compared to many panels that have about 14%. This particular panel design is waterproof. It offers 4 times faster charging with USB 3. Output is about 40 to 50 watts to charge most devices. Charges my power bank in about 6 to 7 hours with full sunlight. So it's also got a 24-month warranty, which is really nice. All right, everybody, thanks for watching 4Expedition Adventure Gear Guide. I hope you learned something today about power banks and solar panels. If you haven't subscribed to the 4Expedition channel, I encourage you to do that. If you'd like to be notified of upcoming videos, be sure to click the notification button. And as always, if you'd like to support 4Expedition, go to patreon.com/4Expedition. Your support really goes a long way to help create quality content for this channel. Until the next time, take care.